Star jokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, the Dragon's Den of the media world. It is Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is. I'm Nigel Clark, your host for the day. You may know me from CBB's The Baby Club, among other things. And Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is today is sponsored by Aardman Animations. Aardman are busy finishing production on a brand new Shaun the Sheep's Christmas special, A Flight Before Christmas, and their first ever musical, Robin, set to premiere this Christmas. And they are starting production on a brand new preschool stop frame animated series, The Very Small Creatures, for Sky Kids. And a brand new animated series, it's a sitcom called Lloyd of the Flies, which will premiere on CITV in 2022. They are very, very busy bees, and they deserve a huge thank you for being the sponsor of today's session. Now, do remember, after the session, from 5 to 5:30, we're going to be in Wonder having a little bit of a chat session. So do join us for a swift half hour if you have the time. But now let's get started and meet our dragons. This year in the Dragon's Den, we have Deirdre Brennan, who's Executive Vice President of Content Partnerships at Wild Brain. We have Eric Casimiro from Nickelodeon, who's the Senior Vice President of Preschool. And then we have Bob Higgins, who's Executive Vice President of Content at Boat Rocker Studios Kids and Family. Welcome, Dragons. Thank you very much for giving us your time and being here. Now, this is the way it's going to work, folks. We have 4 lovely people who are going to be pitching to our dragons. Now, our pitchers only have 5 minutes, and I'm going to be quite strict about those 5 minutes. I've got my stopwatch here, my trusty stopwatch, and I'll be watching the time. So do be on your toes, and I may jump in if you go over the time. And then after that, the dragons will have 8 minutes between you to give some feedback on each of the pitches. So without further ado, let's get straight to it because we are short on time. And our first pitch will be from Gemma Gross, who is from Poppy and Mo. And she has a preschool production that she's going to be pitching to us. Gemma.
Hi, hello. My name is Gemma Gross. I'm the co-artistic director of Fly High Stories, and I'm very excited to be here today to talk to you about Poppy and Mo.
Hi, Mo. Hi, Poppy. Hey! Go! Woohoo!
Poppy and Mo is a children's series for 4 to 7-year-olds combining live action and animation. 11-minute episodes all about exploring big feelings by exploring your brain. We are looking to create a pitch Bible pilot episode and make inroads into the sector so that we can bring Poppy and Mo to audiences around the world. Each episode of Poppy and Mo asks a different "what happens in my brain when" question. When I am tired, angry, listening to music, eating an apple. Inspired by events in the live action story and explored in the animated brain world, accompanied by a brand new musical number and then tested out back in the real world again, showing viewers how they can experiment with this new knowledge too. So, who are Poppy and Mo? Poppy and Mo are 2 inquisitive, energetic, and occasionally very emotional 6-year-olds with curiosity that literally takes them into whole new worlds. They meet in the live-action playground by the beach every day. Poppy loves the sandpit. She's digging the largest hole ever. Mo loves to daydream on the swings, and they both love the climbing frame. They are the best of friends. Radically different to each other, lively, questioning, with very different approaches to the world and how they process their big feelings. This is Poppy. She loves to jump in puddles, eat blueberries, asks a lot of questions, and tries to solve problems by experimenting. She's never still, thinks best when she's upside down, tactile, happy, and bright. And when things don't go her way, she finds a good scream to be very cathartic. This is Mo. He's thoughtful, an inventor, often to be found sitting quietly, seemingly staring into space, while really his brain is whirring at 1,000 miles an hour. Mo is a huge fan of crunchy apples and the sound of envelopes being opened. He's kind, curious, loyal, and resilient, except when he isn't, and he has some of the most epic meltdowns the seagulls have ever witnessed. And they both love to ask, what happens in my brain when? And as soon as they've asked that question, well, there's nothing for it, but they whiz down the magical slide into the animated brain world. Brain world is alive with fizzing, sparkling electrical impulses lighting up pathways. There are friendly endorphins, living molecules, a cheerful sodium atom, all happy to play and point the way to understanding. With their help, the two children question, discover, and explore through play to find out what really does happen in their brain. This is a show about science and feelings, and the science of feelings and the feelings of science. It's a show which makes big scientific concepts easily understood by anyone, no matter their age. A show which empowers everyone to name their feelings and really truly understand where they're coming from. This is a show for children to enjoy with their grown-up, which asks questions and inspires the viewer to ask questions too, not just when they're watching the show, but afterwards, when they're out in the park jumping on a trampoline and they suddenly wonder, what is happening in my brain right now? We would like Poppy and Mo to become part of an ongoing, vitally necessary conversation about big feelings and mental health. Letting children and their grown-ups know there is no such thing as bad feelings, just lots of big ones. So where did this story come from? In 2020, we thought we'd have to shut down as a children's touring theatre company. On screen is a photo of Poppy and Mo from our children's musical Fly High at Singapore Repertory Theatre that had to stop its international tour due to the pandemic. Thankfully, we received emergency funding from Arts Council England to create our first ever animation for children paper plane. 4 minutes of fabulousness about feelings and aerodynamics and our characters, Poppy and Mo. We've discovered that we love making children's work for the screen. As mums, we just want to make stuff which we can enjoy with our children. We are passionate about presenting diverse characters on screen and working with diverse talent behind the scenes. Poppy and Mo is a quirky, funny, heartfelt show for 4 to 7-year-olds and their grown-ups exploring big feelings by exploring your brain. Thank you.
Nice, Gemma, nice. Only second, like 2 or 3 seconds over. Very good pitch. Loved it. But it's not about me. It's about our dragons. So let's come to ladies first. Let's hear from you, Deirdre.
Hello, and Gemma, congratulations. Like, first up to, it's a big thing to come into a live room, let alone a virtual world, and make an impression. But I really enjoyed that. And for me, if we continue this conversation, I would want to dig into your experience in that live event space and theatrical space. And I'm just a little curious, did you ever record Flying High, the show? And I
Yes,
love the fact that you pivoted during... I would also love to see that, because what you're trying to do is take the essence of your purpose and mission that you had in that live event and turn it into a children's animated live action series. I love live action content for preschoolers. I think everyone in the world knows that. So this tried and true traveling between two worlds I find really interesting, and I don't want to take up all of the 8 minutes, but I think for me, digging into how this came about and what you create on stage to connect directly with audiences, I find really, really fascinating. But congratulations again. So I'm trying to be cagey and not put money on the table too soon, because I've been studying the bidding habits of my other dragons in this room. But, I would definitely kick it off with £200 just to buy some time in the game.
Okay, so we're starting the bids there with Deirdre at £200. I will come back to Deirdre after we've heard from the other two dragons, though, Gemma, to see if we can bump her up, because this is all about getting you some serious cash in the bank here. So, Eric, I'd love to hear what your thoughts were.
I sort of echo what Deirdre said. It's really such a great idea, and bravo for the pivot. I'm curious about how stories unfold. I think that's a bit of what maybe Deirdre is sort of picking at. Like how are we delivering the cheeky and the humor that you proposed in these stories? So that would be something I would want to know more of if we dig in further. But it's a marvelous subject matter, really, because in a moment where we're really leaning mindfulness for preschool, this is really being aware of feelings and how they affect children is really very, very timely.
It really is, yeah.
So Eric, are you going to dig in for some cash here? We're going to push you for some cash. 200's the first bid that we've had. Are you topping?
I'll go
250. 250. Now, I just need to explain to people that are watching, our dragons have a maximum across all 4 pictures that they're going to see of £2,000. So their money runs out at 2,000. So they're going to be a bit cagey at the start, of course. But Gemma, don't worry, I will be pushing them. Bob, let's hear from you on your thoughts.
Sure. So I'm going to take this from a different perspective as Deirdre and Eric, in that I'm going to come at it from a global independent producer. So while I do love live action, it, particularly in the preschool, it's really hard. It doesn't travel as well as animation, pure animation does. So to me, that's a little bit of an obstacle, particularly as I said, in the preschool space. I love your animation designs. I love kind of the Japanese influence that you brought in there. So that's all good. I do have the same question that Eric and Deirdre have about exactly how the stories work. You've created a really ambitious show from the fact, the subject matter, the live action, the animation, the musical. There's a lot in there. You may want to, as you move, consider pulling back a little bit, and that doesn't mean dumbing it down. It means things like, if you're going into this world of feelings and you're talking to preschoolers, and maybe you can tell me I'm wrong, oh no, we did this live show and we have proof saying the opposite. Do kids ask, what's going on in my brain, so much as what am I feeling and why am I feeling it? Which is an emotional versus a logical approach, put it that way, or a scientific approach. So for me, I think leaning into what I perceive kids to feel emotionally is a stronger thing than, physiologically what's happening up in my head.
I think that's great. Am I allowed to respond? Because I think that I love that you've picked up on that. And part of it is we're often taught, especially in the UK, with kids with emotions, don't cry. Boys hear that a lot. Be strong, or girls get told, don't be angry. And actually, these emotions are great and they need to happen. But what I think kids and grown-ups need to understand is there's also physiological happenings in the brain that are occurring. And that's sometimes why these emotions occur. And so what you're saying is absolutely right. But the other side of it is we want to do both. We want to be talking about the feelings and exploring the feelings, and also a little bit for the grown-ups as well to explain, you're getting mad with your little one for getting angry, but were you aware the part of the brain that needs to control that hasn't actually developed yet? There's a great big gaping hole there. You're asking your 5-year-old to control their anger when they physically don't have the ability to do that yet in the way that you're wanting them to. But in a way where what we want to do at Fly High Stories and all our work is do it through entertaining and never through, this is what you do, parents, because myself and Rachel Barnett-Jones, who I run the company with, we've sat through a lot of things like that. So it's definitely what you're saying, Bob. And hopefully as well, though, I think kids do completely want to know what's happening inside in here through my years working with children.
Right.
Thank you very much, Gemma. You know your topic and your subject very, very well, which is a very good thing. Bob, we didn't hear a pitch from you, and this is also an opportunity for anyone who might want to respond to Gemma's knowledge of her subject and her brand here, who might want to up their pitch. So, Bob, first to you. Are you putting in on this at all?
This one I'm not, for the reason I said up front. The barriers.
Are you sure?
For
Are
an
you
independent.
sure?
I know. I feel like a
Not even
cheap
like
loser, but
No, it's
saving
it's
in money.
actually, like you said, the live action and the animation doesn't feel like a right fit for you on a global market. So it makes absolute sense to me.
Okay,
But
that's all
also,
good.
Gemma,
Eric, go on. Sorry, Deirdre.
if you get the right partner too, you may find that the essence of what you're trying to achieve in the show, in the stage show, may translate in different ways through development, that you don't
Absolutely.
end up having that as well.
No,
I mean, for me, with
yeah.
my network hat on, for Family Junior in Canada, we have picked up a lot of UK shows recently, so and invested in quite a lot of new content. So preschool is not a big priority for us right now, which is why on this occasion I'm out. But congratulations again, and I will be tracking Eric's development work very closely.
Eric won some time there. Thank you very much to our dragons. Thank you very much to Gemma. I hope that was helpful for you and great pitch. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you for your time.
Okay, let's move swiftly on to our next picture. And our next picture is Chitra Soundar, and she's going to be talking about Mega and Mittens. It's a UK production for ages 6+. So, Chitra, you have 5 minutes.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chitra Soundar. I'm an author and a storyteller, and I go into schools quite a lot to work with children. This is Mega and Mittens. It's animated for bridge ages and with lots of appeal for upper preschool as well. I'm going to show you a quick clip. Okay, so Mega and Mittens is a show about a little girl who doesn't wait to solve her problems on her own, wants a quick fix solution. So she uses this peacock feather. Now, peacock feathers are magical objects when we were growing up in India as little girls. So we still do that. We keep it in our notebooks and we make wishes on it and hope it's going to come true. So she wishes on a peacock feather that her grandmother has given her in an old notebook. And this old spirit comes out of it. Now, the spirit is as young as her, almost just a couple of years older. And whenever she has a problem, she doesn't want to wait. She wishes on it and makes him come and makes him give a wish. But because he's new to the job, he basically messes it up. He doesn't understand it. He reinterprets it. He tries to put his own spin on it, and none of that works. And then Mega has to help solve his problem that he's created and her own problem, and she realizes, oh, okay, I have to do this on my own. But also through all of that, she connects with her heritage, which is because a lot of second generation kids like my nephews, they get access to their Indian grandparents only for 2 months a year or something when they come down for holiday. So this is a show that basically tells people you're connecting with your heritage in little ways like food or music or stories and all of that. And of course, her cat has a lot of fun going about all this adventure with the spirit and with Mega. And the primary character is Mega. She's 8 because it's a bridge show, but I've been told a couple of times in the last 1 week since I sent the presentation that she could work great as a 6-year-old as well. And she discovers her heritage through all of these adventures that she's having. Obviously, Mittens has got huge amount of opinions and attitude, and he speaks with speech bubbles throughout, as how I visualized him. And Patra is a 10 in human years. He's wish granting spirit. He's got big responsibilities, cheeky humor, but completely no skills. So he messes up everything as things go on. And the secondary characters are Mum and Granddad. Mum is a scientist at work, so that brings some of the science elements into the house. And she sometimes tries to cook with science at home, which doesn't always work out well. Granddad is busy with football practice most of the time. He trains his local team, and he also has a hobby of the month every month, creating more chaos in the house. So as if they didn't have enough. So it's set in contemporary Britain and precinct comedy, so football pitches, schools, so very straightforward settings that preschoolers and bridgiers they normally go to, with enough scope for lots of chaos and fun and magic with the magical scenarios that can be set. Now, I've been in this country for 15 years. My nephews were born here, and there aren't any Indian shows on TV right now. The last one that was created in the UK was 25 years ago in Wales. And even the one that Disney has created, Princess Mira, is one in the entire international. And Nickelodeon has created Sami and Raj with 2 boys, which is coming out soon. So there are no girls shows, there are no contemporaries, but also there isn't a show where a young brown Indian girl can have magical adventures, because they always seem to be the sidekick, or they seem to be the nerdy other type of things, but they're not in one of those fantastical stories. So that's one of the reasons I've been writing this for. So there are inclusive storylines. There's lots of opportunity to bring in different people into each story, and builds empathy and problem solving. And you have a cat. So potential books can be developed, interactive apps and games can easily be done based on these characters going and doing these. But most importantly for me is introduces immersive experiences like cultural elements and problem solving. That's it. I'm done.
Thank you very much, Chitra. Dragons.
Thank you.
Let's start this time with Bob. We're going to go in reverse order.
Okay. I like this one. And I think it could work for us. I completely agree with you on the need for a strong female Indian South Asian character. You don't see it anywhere. I would encourage you, if we were to do this, to you mentioned comedy and chaos, but then, and maybe it's just the way that you pitch, it seems softer than that. I would lean into it hard, bring it into a really Fairly Odd Parents. This reminds me of Fairly Odd Parents. It reminds me of I Dream of Jeannie. It reminds me of these great shows where you have this great over-the-top magical character who comes into the life of your heroine and completely disrupts it, and just comedy ensues. So I would, want to partner you with a strong comedy writer, lean into it, make it so you're taking all the great Indian cultural elements and keeping them in there, but then broadening it so that it has appeal for New York City and Toronto and the UK and Tokyo. So yeah, I like it, and I'll start at $350.
Woo! Bob's got his wallet out, folks. Yeah. Well done, Chitra. Let's see what Eric thinks of this idea.
Chitra, I echo. I adore Bob and his taste anyway. So I echo what he's saying, that you've got a marvelous sort of premise where you've got this magical character, and I'd love to see as you lean in to see how your girl character makes him more human and he makes her more magical, and sort of the exchange, because he's learning with her. I was a bit puzzled by Mitten's speech bubbles, since our audience doesn't always read. I think you might miss an opportunity there for some comedy, and also it helps when that character has a voice. It sort of, that connection to the child is so much more stronger, and it's a really charming thing. And I also believe we need to see more Indian girl characters. I mean, thankfully we have a vice president who represents some of that, but we really, I would go to 400 pounds on this one.
Ooh, look at this, Chitra. Look at this. But wait, we're not finished. We're not finished yet. Deirdre, thoughts, please.
Yes, and great feedback. I echo Eric's comment on respecting your taste and judgment. And initially I was thinking 4 to 7, 6+, but listening to you two, I think absolutely go the 6+. Forget the bridge, because the chaos and comedy that could come from that actually would make it very unique. And there's not a lot out there in the market like that. I really love the idea of telling a global story, but through this lens of a contemporary UK home. The one thing I would do is lean more into the community that's associated with that, the family, her family, and also the community that they live in, to really give kids around the world a sense of not only her heritage, but her life as it is today. So fantastic. I, again, would track both Eric and Bob's involvement, but given what we need on the channel, we're quite full with sort of 6+ animation projects at the moment. So I'm out, but would be watching it very carefully.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic pitch. Really enjoyed it.
Yes, Chitra. Now, the thing is, Chitra, would you like to respond first? I think I can get some more money out of these folks. So I'll let you respond first, but then we'll go back to Eric and Bob.
Yeah, I always bring grandparents and the community into the stories. All my books have the entire community in them and grandparents in them, recipes, food, dance, music. Every book has a song in them. So I'm looking forward to putting all of those elements. And I agree with both Bob and Eric. I always thought it was slightly, definitely not preschool. And then yesterday I was getting some feedback that might be preschool. But yeah, I agree. It can play more with wordplay and more with the jokes as if it's over 6+. So thank you. It's great feedback. I've written them down, and I'm
so guys,
listening to that, I would be prepared to give Eric a 200-pound top up on your development option. What do you think? Would you take it?
200-pound top up there.
Beating up on me together?
So we're talking about Eric's pitch plus another 200 from Deirdre to work with the both of you.
All right, I'll flip it to Bob.
Bob?
Because if he's that passionate about it, I'll pop it on top up Bob. Just some additional financial support for Canadian rights.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
Well, in addition to the money part that Deirdre has very graciously stolen from Eric and given to me, I think I am also at Boat Rocker in the unique position, our vice president of development in a brown woman who is extraordinarily passionate about bringing more of this culture to the world. So you have someone who completely understands both the traditional Indian culture, but also growing up in a modern Western city and how those. So we bring that perspective as well, which is you can't even put a price tag on it.
Yes, absolutely.
Priceless. So,
it is priceless.
Who would you like to go with?
I didn't understand how the Deirdre thing worked with Bob, so
I'm just doing a deal with Bob on the side.
Oh, okay.
It's basically
So
you're with Eric or you're with Bob.
I'll probably go with Bob simply because I'll get to do the development from scratch, and then I have checked out Wild Brain multiple times, connected with your VPs on LinkedIn, and still hopefully she'll talk to me at some point. So yeah, I'll definitely, and then hopefully Deirdre will put it on the network.
Bob and I will
Fingers
be talking.
crossed. We've all got our fingers crossed for you, Chitra. Thank you so much for your pitch, and thank you to the Dragons for all your feedback as well.
Thank you,
Chitra.
thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, well done, Dragons. Still got a lot of money in the bag. From what I mean, I'm trying to do some quick calculations in my head here. I think you've all got a good like £1,500 left in the kitty, roughly, each. So we've got 2 more pitches to hear from. And next up, we have the wonderful Irvin Fustek. Now, he's going to be talking about Peggy 7, which is another 6+ production. So, Irvin, take it away.
Ooh.
Ooh, I can't hear Irvin at the moment. Can everyone hear Irvin?
No.
No, Irvin, are you on mute? You're not on mute, are you? Or your earpods run out or something? No, we can't hear you at the moment. I heard a little bit of something there. I tell you what, Irvin, while we've got this happening, maybe we'll go on to the next person and come back to you and see if you're technical. You go into the green room and they'll figure you out there. And we will move on to our next pitch. And hopefully by the time we finish that, Irvin will be all sorted out technically and then we'll be able to carry on. So instead of that, then we're going to have Kath Shackleton, who's going to be talking about Floss and M, a UK preschool production. So Kath, I know it's a bit of a throwing you in there a few minutes earlier than normal, but you have 5 minutes. Go for it.
Hello, everybody. Hi, I'm producer at Fettle Animation. I said Floss and M. Oh, hang on, I've gone too far there. I don't think I'm actually controlling this. That's not a good start.
Can we go back one screen? Back a couple of screens, please.
Can I try my clicker again? It's not working here. Not going forwards or backwards. Oh, no, it's going... That's it.
There we go. There we go.
Right. Hi. So, Floss and M is a new preschool non-dialogue animated comedy series. We're making a 3-minute pilot episode and to test our ideas, and we're looking for initially to develop 27-minute episodes, but we're flexible and able to do many more. Floss and M are an alpaca and an emu, a comedy odd couple, as different can be, but finding out all about the world together. It's a fun visual comedy. Sorry, hang on, go back again. It's a fun visual comedy from the sketchbook of Fettle Animation's director, Zane Whittingham. Bold, striking, and charmingly simple. Fettle is an animation company, multi-award-winning animation studio, now coming into its 10th year. Check out our funky new logo, and we've got a website on its way soon. We'll make animation with care, heart, and humour. We've become well known for our social and educational animations, and this is still very much our day job. But we're building up a slate of entertainment-based IPs to give us more opportunities to expand our studio. As an animation studio, we've fared pretty well in spite of the challenges of lockdown. Ironically, we've had more support this year than ever before. We're feeling ambitious, confident, and determined to build back bigger, better, and more diverse studio going forward. Thought you might like to see our legs. We don't see many of those on these Zoom screens at the moment. So here's me. I'm partner Zane. We're based not too far away from sunny Sheffield, in the hills in West Yorkshire, a place called Marsden. We're passionate about the benefits of nature. So many children these days miss out. And we are hoping that Floss and M can help children and families to reconnect with the outdoors. So here are our characters. Here's Floss. She's cautious, clever, thoughtful, and she's... Oh, can we go back? Sorry, we're going too fast. Floss is cautious, clever, and thoughtful, and she's forever being led into mischief by the impulses of M. We're right at the beginning of developing our journey with each of these characters, and we're digging into comedy archetypes to build fun and contrast into their personalities. Here's M. She's fired by curiosity, never without a beloved ball, and gets stuck into everything, beak first. Opposites attract, and together they invent clever solutions and become ever better friends. Looking at the design, how can our audience instantly fall in love with our characters? How do we build longevity into the story world so that this is flicking through by itself, this presentation. It's not me doing this. Go back again. Sorry. How can we build longevity into the story world so we can keep making the series at volume? Alpacas and emus come from exotic places, but we have both alpacas and emus locally, so don't have to go far to do our homework. Check out the gorgeousness that's alpaca. What can we learn from their behaviours and qualities to inspire our lovely Floss? Emus really make us laugh. Their unpredictability can take you by surprise. We're off to learn more about the loves, likes and quirks of emus to build into the character of our lovely Em. We've been funded from the University of Sheffield to do research and to make our pilot. We've got 3 awesome academics involved in the project, and they're all experts in the fields of children's play. They work across gender diversity and inclusion, child-centred research, and digital play. And they'll help us put kids in the middle of our thinking and to bake funny and playful ideas right into the middle of our animation. We're going to build an online resource that we can share with the industry, which you could be a part of. And we're looking at how a piece of digital animation can really encourage kids to get stuck in to play. We've also, we're also in the process of confirming Dame Evelyn Glennie as a musical partner in the project. She was the first full-time percussionist in musical history. She's also been profoundly deaf since the age of 12. So she's a collection of over 2,000 instruments, and we're working with her to create a language in percussion for Floss and Em. We're developing a growing list of ideas for our series. Here's some of them. In each episode, Floss and Em's play is interrupted by some kind of problem. We see Floss and Em understand just what's going on, question why it's happening, trying out some few new ideas, which of course don't always work out first time. They invent solutions, discover surprises, laugh and make some noise along the way. There's loads of opportunities for sensory. I'm trying to click here, nothing's happening. Oh dear, nothing's going on here. Oh, there we go. There's loads of opportunities for sensory learning. Clicking again and nothing's happening. Oh,
It's okay, we're listening to you.
Yeah, getting the hang of the tricky bits when you're outside. Playing with some of nature's toys, getting sand in your feet and splashing around in the sea. I think there are some contact details on screen there if anyone wants to get in touch. Thank you.
Very well done, Kath.
Whoa,
Bang
sorry
on
about that.
time there. Bang on
Nothing
time.
clicked when it should have done, so apologies, but we got through.
Don't worry about that. We got to see it all, so don't worry about that. Let's hear what the dragons thought, and we'll come to Eric first this time. Eric.
Kath, it's a really sweet concept. I'm curious why you chose to go without dialogue on something which is about play and quickly scrolling through your stories, which were going so quickly. There's conflict and there's resolutions to those. So, I mean, what was the thinking behind that?
Well, obviously, we want to make an international show that works in lots of different cultural contexts. And so we were thinking about just how to explore some of those possibilities, really. We're not wedded completely to it. We can add a little bit of dialogue if that helps to make the show work in different contexts. But we wondered what would happen and what could we do without dialogue and what could we explore. So, and the percussion elements we felt gave that something interesting that we could go with.
Definitely a super interesting piece of this. Unfortunately for me, I think it skews a little too young for what we are doing on the channel. We're trying to widen our preschool range quite a bit. So I'm afraid I'm not in on this one. But it's a very charming look and pitch. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eric. Deirdre, let's come to you.
So much in here, Kat, that I absolutely love. So don't worry about the PowerPoint. I'm a PowerPoint disaster, but we were listening to your voice, so we were focused. Working with the University of Sheffield, I've had the privilege of working them on a few research studies. Amazing. Like if anybody can give you insight and the idea of having a pilot to explore the potential impact on play, amazing. So that's good. And Evelyn Glennie, I mean, the whole idea of trying to also bring audio, the power of sound and music into this, I think was really, really interesting. For me, it's all about an AVOD opportunity. That this really could be something that you could test, because you're already doing that through this sort of research mindset. We could test, we could iterate, we could develop sort of directly with the audience. We have a really substantial AVOD network that reaches 1 in 3 kids globally. So I see this as an amazing opportunity, actually, and good on you for having these ambitions to grow and develop the company too in this space of a year where we really haven't had much chance to get outside our own homes. So I would like to start with £500 to definitely continue the conversation. Thank you.
Ooh, look at that.
Thank
my money where my mouth is.
That's what
Yay.
it's about here.
I like that, man. Thank you so much. Woo.
Thank you very much, Deirdre. Bob.
Pleasure.
Let's hear what you would have to say about this.
Okay. I'm leaning toward where. Then when Deirdre was, all of a sudden brought up the AVOD thing, I'm like, yeah. I mean, it kind of, what's interesting is the landscape right now in terms of the platform landscape is really changing the way content, traditionally has been made. So, my initial gut reaction when I started hearing the pitches, non-dialogue, big X, while it does break down lots of global barriers, there's gazillions of examples of very successful preschool shows that are dialogue driven, and they actually translate very well, and you can tell stronger stories, in my opinion. That said, then you have things, Cocomelon. What the heck? It's very simple. You put a song, one of the biggest things going through an AVOD strategy for a show that would never have been picked up by Nickelodeon, Disney, or anyone originally. So I do agree with Deirdre that that's an approach to go. We do not have a platform of our own in that. We work with WildBrain, helping us on some of our shows with their expertise in this area. So I think it's cute. I think that Deirdre is a much better partner for you. I think it makes sense creatively and strategically. So I'm going to defer to the lady on my left, at least on my screen.
Thank you. All the best. Yeah, great. Thanks so much, Deirdre. Look forward to that. Yay! Cheers. Thank you.
Let's speak soon.
Just quickly, because we have got a minute or two.
It's most helpful.
Yeah, I was going to ask, was the feedback helpful for you, Kath?
Yeah, again, and we're right at the beginning of the journey with it, so it feels really exciting not to kind of too many things too early on. So we're right on a journey of adventure, so things can change, and I really like that about the project, and about going in a more research-driven approach to things where we can try and test and iterate and move forward. My partner Zane has got like a mass of drawings of different ways that the characters could be, and we're looking at what the implications of those can be. And again, with the University of Sheffield, looking at all kinds of mad ideas. And we've got a summer full of adventures in wildlife parks ahead of us, I think, videoing lots of alpacas and emus. So
why emus? Do you mind me asking, Kat?
They're just bonkers. They're lovely. They're just really, really fun. And in the hills where we are, there's lots of very small farms around, and they've been taken on as pets on the farms. So we do have alpacas and emus right on the doorstep, and I think that was where the idea came from. So, and it just seems really odd in a landscape full of sheep that we have these exotic Australians and Peruvians around us, but they're gorgeous and they're really good fun. And they sit alongside. I mean, people say that emus are a bit like dogs as pets, and owners can feed them dog food and they're fine.
Really?
There's an alpacas, we avoid them. And alpacas and sheep are a good mix. But again, it would be useful again to just bear in mind the way everyone else thinks about these things. But I mean, I think I was brought up with Rod Hull and Emu as well. And,
there you go. Now that that's a good
the-
upbringing right there, Kath. That's a good upbringing.
Yes, absolutely. But my partner doesn't like the viciousness of Rod Hull's Emu, so would like a gentler version thereof. So
maybe we'll find a happy medium somewhere in the between, because the comedy value of it was very, very good. Kath, thank you so much for your pitch. Hope you got some value from it. And hopefully we'll see you in the Wonder Room a little bit later on.
Cheers.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Kath.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay, we're into our last 15 minutes. Let's hope that Irvin has sorted the tech out, because we're going to go back now. Irvin Fustek, who's going to be talking to us about Peggy 7, a 6+ production. Irvin, are you there this time?
Hello, everyone. I hope this time you can hear me. Oh, all right. Sorry, Kat, for the rush. Sorry. Could I start? Can I start?
You can start.
Okay, let's go. So once again, I'm really glad to be here today with you to talk to you about my project, eFabulous Peggy 7 Champions Game. Unfortunately, today my co-author Adrian Gold and our beloved agent Advan Rodriguez can be here with me today, so I speak for all of us. So, eFabulous Peggy 7 Champions Game is a CGI esports 26 x 22 minutes adventure show for kids from 8 to 12. So before I start this presentation, let me say that esports ecosystem is growing fast, and video games are growing part of our kids' entertainment life. We both love esports and animation, so we had to do something and mix that up. So, Peggy 7. Our stories take place in a world where Arc 7 has become the ultimate larger-than-life video game. A passionate girl and her friends set out in a quest to become Arc 7 champions. So, let me introduce you our characters. So, in the middle of the screen, you can see Peggy, which is the main character of the show. She is the granddaughter of the Arc 7 inventor, the genius Pappy 7. She was raised by him and her mother, since her father has mysteriously disappeared when she was 8. She's an energetic girl, and she needs to learn how to control her energy. She is very sensitive to the well-being of the archers. The archers are the characters the player used to fight in the arenas. And during her adventure, she have to learn how to work in team with her teammates. So next we have Elvis at the bottom left of your screen. As every archer in the world, he was designed as an extension of his player personality. And he has the rarest, sorry for my English, the rarest random attributes. He can speak some words. And trust me, he used that attributes. He's a real chatterbox. He's curious, lively. He always speaks. He's quite annoying. And also he loves to discover the world with Peggy and her friends. On the left of Peggy, you can see Alicia. Alicia is an eccentric character. She's very smiley and kind, and she's really a fan of the archers' designs. And she draws every archer in her art book, and she really wants to become a real artist. And on the right, you can see finally Hector. Hector is the geek of the gang. He's very protective, secretly in love for Alicia. At the left of Peggy, and he always wants to impress everyone with his courage. So, whether they are in the arena or on the road, on a duel or in a tag team game, every game is a change for our heroes to show their values, team spirit, and competitiveness. but the road to the top is not picnic. They need to watch out for Pampak, Peggy's nemesis, who will do anything to make Peggy bite the dust. Pampak is the ex-best friend of Peggy, and she's the best hacker of the city. She has a rigged gamepad. She's used to cheat. She really is a bad girl. She steals Archer, and her ultimate goal is to destroy the entire game of Arc 7 and to always beat Peggy, her main competitor. So for this show, we have many inspirations from Pokemon, obviously, and in the design and the mechanics. But we since we grew with the Pokemon and still love the show, we wanted to have team fights and unique skills from the characters for our characters. Very inspired by League of Legends game, one of the biggest game in the world. So everyone in the team has his own role. So Alicia is the support; she heals our character. Hector protects, and Peggy deals the damages. Thank you, everyone. And I can show you now some last Archers design. So they are meant to be fun, to be colorful, and to resemble the personality of their human characters. So thank you, everyone. And I've been a little bit in a rush, sorry, but thank you for listening to me. And if you have any question, I can answer you right now.
Thank you very much, Irvin. Thank you very much. So, Deirdre, what were your thoughts on that?
I'm intrigued because I would love to ask.
Yeah,
where's
Irvin disappeared to? I'm sure he'll be back in a second. Here we go.
There we go. Fine. So it can see the inspiration behind the concept, and you're already down that path on design, and some of the other characters probably need a bit more understanding of what the sport or the game actually is. But why do you want to take something in the experience of either esports or gaming into a storytelling format? So what inspired you to say, all right, I want to take what's happening over here and put it into a different form of children's entertainment?
In fact, I'm a big player myself, and my friend and co-author Adrian too. So since we play many games since we're kids, and we watch a lot of animation too, we've never seen a show that mixed well all these things together. So and we know some good mechanics from the video game world, and we wanted to incorporate it in a TV show with kids. I don't know how to say that, sorry, in English, but we really inspire from the video game world, and we really think it can be works fine together. I don't know if I answer your question.
No, it's good, and actually you reveal more about where this has come from you, which is fantastic. A very quick question, I promise I can't take up the time. Would you start development with a Roblox game or in that gaming side, just so that people can sort of see both the connection to a potential fan base, but also how it lives in a game world?
Sure, we could, but I don't know what age aims the Roblox game is. Sorry for my English, but I don't know if the audience is a little bit
young.
less. Yes, young. Sorry, guys.
I would say that platform is evolving every day. So I'd say watch this space, but I'll hand over to my lovely esteemed peers. But thank you, that's really helpful. I'm going to hold off until I hear a little bit more from the other dragons.
Eric, let's come to you. Your thoughts, please.
Well, I too are sort of scratching my head a little bit about what the stories are. I get that you are well versed in gaming, so the sort of mechanics would be there. But what makes this a story we care about? And I think you're right. There are very few amalgams of a game and a story, and there's probably for good reason, because they're, stories demand a different kind of mechanic sometimes in a game. So I'm afraid I'll hold off too, because I'm not quite sure I see something. I see what you're seeing. I think your design style is really nice and is definitely something that's intriguing. But for a number of reasons, I'm afraid I'm going to sort of abstain on this one. Sorry.
No worries.
That's okay, Eric. That's okay. We'll come back to you in a minute. Bob, what about yourself?
Yep. So I think, and I'm guessing, tell me if I'm wrong, but you probably have a lot more already developed and written down someplace than that fits into a concise 5-minute pitch, because what you're pitching is way too much to be pitching in 5 minutes. Yes? Okay.
Yes,
great.
sure. We have a lot more.
So I love the esports realm. I do have some of the same questions of exactly story-wise how it's working. Is it Ready Player One-ish, or what is it? Are we in the game? Are we out of the game? Is it a parallel universe? I didn't fully understand, but I'm sure you explained it in the Bible. I love the design style. I love Peggy. She comes off to me as non-binary, which I think is cool. And I love that Hector loves Alicia, and you kind of left Peggy alone because it allows for that. And I would love to actually see characters like that represent, that culture or that segment of the population. So yeah, on that. So in order to be the first one to see the Bible that you have written and not let the other two see it, I'll put 500 on the table.
Oh,
yeah, great. Excellent.
That's the right home.
Nice.
The right dragon.
Deirdre and Eric, are you staying out? You're not getting involved? You're leaving it at the 500 there with Bob? You sure you're not going to bid in just to see the Bible?
I think the best dragon has been found, but I would obviously keep having a conversation with Bob about how his development slate's going and how things are looking. So, yeah, no, but good home is the right choice.
Definitely.
I think you're in very good hands, my friend, for sure.
Okay.
Irvin, have you got anything to respond in that? You've got about 30 seconds if you'd like to say anything back to the dragons in response.
Yeah, sure. We have a lot more. We have developed the universe and the stories and the goal of the characters, etc. It's sure that in 5 minutes I had to present the characters and I have to skip some parts, maybe the most important parts. But we can discuss about that. Sure. I can send you many more things. We can have a chat if you want.
You did great.
Thank you very much, Irvin. Great pitch.
Thank you, everyone.
And it looks like a great little production as well, definitely. So that brings us to the end of our Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is session. Wow. Thank you so much to the dragons, Deirdre, Eric, and Bob. Some great insight there into the way your minds work and the way the platforms that you represent are thinking about productions. So yeah, thank you so much for being here this afternoon. And maybe we'll see you in the Wonder Rooms. I will be talking about those in a moment if folks don't know what they are. But first, I have to tell people that tomorrow at 11 a.m. we will be having the Commissioner Conversations with Nickelodeon, Viacom, CBS and Warner Media. So be back here at 11 a.m. if you want to get involved and watch that. Also, we have our speed meetings, which are happening tomorrow and Friday. And if you want to get involved in speed meetings with tomorrow's commissioners, then you need to book early. Booking opens at 9 a.m. UK time if you want to get involved in that. So please do make sure you get involved early if you want to be at the speed networking. As well as that, at 8 o'clock tonight, it is the big night for karaoke fans. 8 p.m, get your glad rags on and get ready to sing your heart out and join the karaoke room on Zoom. There's a red link in the red box at the bottom of this description. And don't worry, because you don't have to sing. That's the thing. You can just come along and be involved and take part. As I mentioned earlier on, we're going to be going into the Wonder Room now for the next half an hour from 5 till 5:30. Hopefully we'll see you there. You might get to meet some of the dragons. I know I'm going to be popping in to say hello to some people as well. So maybe I'll see you in there. Apart from that, there's only one person left, one organisation, I should say, not person, left to thank. And that would be Aardman. Thank you massively to you for sponsoring today's event. Put your money where your mouth is. We keep doing it every year. We keep having lots of fun. Hopefully it's helping people know how to pitch, what organisations are looking for as well. So I'm sure we'll be back again next year. So thank you very much, and we'll see you over in the Wonder Room. Take care, folks. Bye.